Hey everybody, and welcome back to more Obduction. We are currently here in the tree in Hunrath right now, and now it's humming with this really strange sound, now that we've turned the water on and stuff. And we can see a bunch of light, or something, coursing through its veins. But right now, we're going to see what we can do with that stone sphere in the area above the junkyard. And before we do that, I'm actually going to go and run back to town to see CW again. Mainly because I want to see what else he has to say now that we've gone through the wall. And also, I forgot to go there before we turned the tree on with the water and all that, but he would have mentioned doing that. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say at this point. Alright. What you got for us, buddy?
Making progress. It's nice not having to do all this myself. You can just keep connecting all the trees, all the roots. I gotta finish the plates around the tree. I'll get them connected to my battery. If you ain't already done so, I need that battery cable plugged in. Remember, everything connected.
So it seems like CW wants to do something with this tree that somehow relates to this battery up here that we saw earlier. I'm actually going to hold off on that for now until we learn more about it. I have a feeling there's more to this than meets the eye. But in the meantime, it sounds like, from what he told us, that there are other trees in the other worlds, which would make sense, given what we've read about all these worlds. And I'm going to go over through Farley's place in order to get to the back part of Hunrath where that sphere is. So let's go ahead and do that. There are two other things that we still have yet to do here in Hunrath. There's the... or at least that we know of. There's the Villain number worksheet thing, as well as the red set of rocks by the tunnel that we can't even get to yet. So I'm actually going to wait for that until we come back here later on, since I kind of wanted to mix everything up in this Let's Play and not just stay in one place for too long. So I'm going to head through... Wait, is it this one? Wait, it's not that one, is it? That's the one that leads to the world we already tried to go to. I think it's this one. The one over down by this path. Okay, this looks correct. Alright, so while we're also up here, I'm going to see if we can lower the ramp now that we've turned the power on to all the other things that were off. Might as well make all those shortcuts while we're at it. Like CW said, everything connected. There's our sphere. So one thing I'm curious about, I know that, these adventure games, encourage you to stay on the beaten path, as it were. But I wonder what happens if someone tries to climb out through the membrane that way. I mean, would they just come up against the wall on the other side? Alright, there we go. I'm going to assume that a lot of these obstacles were put in place to prevent the Mofang from reaching everyone so easily. But let's see what this does. This one looks a little different from the other seed swap machine that we saw. For one thing, there's no little grating thing here that gets pulled down. There's a lever here. And this one has a blue outline instead of the green one or the orange-yellow one that we've seen. Of course, we saw both blue and green as the other worlds that were connected to our tree here in Hunrath. So it'll be interesting to see which one this is. There's one thing I'm not exactly a big fan of in this game, it's these loading screens, but hey, they do look pretty cool, so there is that. Well, it seems to be kind of a dark place. Wow. Very foggy. What is all this stuff anyway? We got some drawings here. This kind of reminds me a lot of the Borrow drawings from Uru, which Cyan also made. I might do a Let's Play of that game at some point. I really like that one. This looks like a part of an elevator. This kind of structure and these large cliffs and everything remind me of Spire from Myst 4, which Cyan didn't actually make, but this looks very reminiscent of that. Huh. This is curious. A couple of things worthy of note here. This bridge looks a lot like the same design style as that ramp that was near the sphere we just used. And also, we can see another membrane over here. And the world that we see through it looks very similar to the world that correlated with the green seed that we used earlier. So this seems to lend further credence to the idea that the blue and the green worlds are connected to each other in some way, and then Earth and Soria, the Mofang world, are paired together. And this thing doesn't seem to be operable, so I think we're going to need to do a little bit more exploring here. This is really precarious, isn't it? Not sure if I would really go through all this in real life with my fear of heights, but it sure is breathtaking. I mean, look at that. And oh, hey there's an Arai beetle. Fascinating. Alright, well, we can't go any further there. Let's see, we got a wheel. And there's a lever here, which does nothing. Maybe the wheel needs to be used first before anything else. Let's try that. Okay, so it seems like turning the wheel started this, which looks like it could provide some power to this mechanism here. That doesn't do anything. What about the other way? Ah, there we go. Can we go further? No, okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get off here at this landing. Looks like there's a spot to get off. What is this? Huh. Somebody had installed what appears to be an I-beam or something there. Wait a minute. Didn't we see an I-beam listed in the manifest there in the junkyard? What does this do? Ah! Swings it even more. Can we get anywhere new from doing that? Let's see here. Looks like this leads right into the membrane. Oh. I suppose this world might also have some protection for it too, huh? Alright. Well, we have a path here to explore, so let's just go forward and see what we come across. This is very vertigo-inducing. And it looks like there's another sphere that got thrown in here. This doesn't look like a part of any world we've seen so far. So, what I'm thinking here is that I'm wondering if there might perhaps have been other worlds that might have been deposited into worlds like this, much like pieces of Earth got deposited in Hunrath, not just the main cell that everyone was a part of. There's a hook or something sitting here. And another Arai beetle. Huh. What is this? Are these barnacles that we've been hearing about with the Arai? because these certainly look like they could fit the bill. We got more of them here. Well, if this is indeed the world of the Arai, then this could be Kaptar, which would make the other world Murray. And we were already thinking that it could be Murray, just based on the Villain-like door that we saw. You can also see another area over there. Wonder if we'll visit that later on. Ah, here we go. There's a big red beam pointing toward the sky, much like there was in Hunrath, so we're probably going to have to disable that if we're going to get very far here. And holy cow, what is this? This is like a giant temple or something. And this is huge. Well, let's think back to what we read in the notebooks at Farley's place. We read that originally there was a group of flying creatures here that were gigantic, or at least they were imposing enough that there was a civilization here that built temples to honor them and worship them. And this could have been one of those temples. We also read about another race that came later on and used the Arai and put them on little hooks or big hooks to lure these flying creatures and hunt them. So that could have been what that big hook was there. And we know that this race was more mechanically inclined, so perhaps they built the structure that we came across when we first got here. The notebook also mentioned that the Arai have survived the whole time, so it's interesting to be a part of a civilization that outlives even other civilizations. It's kind of a crazy thought to think about. So where does this go? Okay, so looks like we're on some kind of track. Or is this the track? There's a bunch of chains up there. There's also this large hook. This could have been one of the large hooks that was used in the service of hunting those flying creatures. But it's blocking our path. There's a set of stairs over there that we could reach if this were gone, but unfortunately we can't reach it. So that's a bummer. Well, let's just run back for now. See what else is here. This place has quite a bit to offer in terms of the sights. Okay, so here's that red beam. Of course, we don't really have any Villain technology handy here to disable that. Ah, there's another sphere that got transplanted here. Where does this go? Looks like this one goes to Hunrath. I'm not going to use it yet. Just going to go out here for now. But first, let's look at this map. It looks like this is a map of Kaptar, and presumably this area is where we are right now, where the red dot is. And this area here in the center, if everything corresponds, is where the tree would be. In fact, we could actually see it from outside when we were walking around earlier. Which would make this area over here the area where we started. It makes sense because this part of the map is the bottom part of Hunrath where we found the stone sphere to begin with. So if indeed this, where we are now, is meant to correspond to a similar spot on the Hunrath map, then this is more than likely inside the town, if it's in the northern central part. So we'll worry about that later, but for now, a few things worthy of note. It looks like there's some other things to explore on this side, hopefully once we get that big hook cleared out of the way. There's also some paths that are shaded here. Maybe these go inside rocks or something. And this one in particular is kind of interesting because this one goes to what looks like a big cross or something that looks rather significant. And then this also goes off the edge of the map through the membrane, over here somewhere, presumably out this way. We also know that there's an entrance to the membrane over here, which would likely deposit us out over here on this part of the map. So we're gonna have to check all that out here later, but for now I'm just gonna worry about what we can access because there's still a lot to see. It looks like these giant flags or banners were made out of scales, which we can now see some of the remains of here down on the ground. Curious to know if those scales were from the flying creatures? Probably not. I mean, I don't think they would kill them if they were trying to worship them, but who knows. Here's a closer view of the tree. Guessing that getting to it is probably not going to be very easy. And what is this? This looks like this is all part of a giant machine here. I feel like I'm supposed to be jumping onto something here, but there's nothing here for that. Nor is there any kind of call button or anything that would get a mode of transport over here, so let's just go for now. We also saw on the map that there was another path that led out from here, which is around the entrance. And here it is, right here. This one actually goes upward. I'm going to slow down. I really don't like running around when I'm exploring a new place, so it's always nice just to slow down and take in the sights. This is breathtaking, for sure. If there's one thing Cyan knows how to do well, particularly in their recent games, it's to communicate a sense of scale. Looks like we've got some chain remains here. It looks like these are no longer really functioning. Or if they are, they're kind of a little bit sloppily put on there. Here's a set of chains that looks like it could function, though. Interesting. So there's a hook over here, not unlike the one that we saw over by the temple. Can we do anything with this? Let's go and swing around here and go down the stairs and check it out. Looks like this one just blocks our path too. And unlike the other area, it looks like there isn't really anything else to see on the other side. But good thing to just notice. It's certainly an impressive sight still. I really like how this place has some trees and leaves that really stand out amidst all the gray rock. It's really nice. Alright, so what is okay. What is all of this? What is this? Somebody put a machine here with Cyrillic characters on it, as well as Arabic numbers. 7, 4... Okay, so this just turns lights on and off. 3, 2, 9... Yeah. This machine actually, I'm just going to go ahead and reveal this now. This machine actually has zero purpose at all. I mean, all these switches, there's no combination. This is basically just a big troll machine. It doesn't do anything or have any real purpose, so at least in terms of puzzle solving. We'll leave it alone. I actually spent quite a bit of time just staring at it, trying to figure out what to do with it. But you can't really do anything significant with it. There's an Arai beetle there. And a gigantic mechanism. Wow. Looks like this is all connected to a fan or set of fins or something down there in a cross shape. That looks familiar. What is this? Nothing we can do with that. What about over here? There's one thing this place does really well, it's the ambience, for sure. Alright, so we can get near the fins. I'm wondering if there's something we can do with this. Let's try a wheel. Looks like that's supposed to clasp something together, but it just goes right back out. Anything over here? There's another wheel and a lever. Okay, that turns the blades and starts them. Okay, that's good. Can we clasp this now? There we go. Okay, now everything else starts moving. Perfect. Alright. This area here is moving, but it looks like this is reaching towards something that it's not really connecting to. There's one of these arms over here, there's another set over there, there's another corresponding two over there. I wonder if there's something we can do about that. Now this thing's open. Ah, okay, here we go. There's a lever here we can use. Okay, that's what we want to see. How can we get to the other ones, though? There we go. So, moving it in a circular motion just changes which one you're going to, like that. Moving it inwards, though, grabs it, like that. Just make sure it doesn't go back out, which it looks like it's not. And ready. Oops. There we go. And then finally, let's do this one. Perfect. Alright, so that should be all of them. Looks like they're all working. And pumping power. At least that's what I hope they were doing. Alright, we haven't checked this area out yet. Where does this go? Ooh, we can see everything whirring around there. That's nice. Ooh, yay, another precarious bridge. Just what I wanted. And an elevator. At least it looks like an elevator. Hey, wait a minute. This looks familiar, doesn't it? Alright. Yeah, there's the sphere that we used to swap in here. Okay, so we've just come full circle all over the place. Well, turning on the power is all nice and good and stuff, but we've got a little problem here because we haven't really seen any mechanisms in the temple area that we can really interact with, right? So I think our next step here is we're going to have to find a way to turn off that beam. But we'll have to worry about doing that next time. So for now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start heading over that way. And in the next video, we're going to go ahead and try to get over there. Thankfully, we've already set everything up here with the I-beam to rotate this bridge properly once we do. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys liked the video today. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe or tell a friend, and I will catch you on the flip side. So take care, and I will see you then.